Well, we're speaking with Ben Clapper, who is Executive Director of Louisiana Right to Life. Ben, an incredibly impressive and important 2 hours of oral arguments before the Supreme Court today about the Mississippi case that bans abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. I know it's always hard to read tea leaves in oral arguments. It's almost impossible. But what did you take out of the oral arguments that you heard?
Well, my big picture is that I definitely feel there are 6 justices who want to make a change and who are willing to make a change. I think the million-dollar question is how big that change will be, right? I mean, yeah, you heard people like Justice Kavanaugh talking about having an abortion-neutral constitution, neither pro-life or pro-choice, so that, you know, he's clearly talking about overturning Roe v. Wade, sending it back to the states and returning it to the people, letting them decide. So you saw that, but then you also saw Justice Roberts, Chief Justice, trying to maybe find some middle ground, asking, well, why does it have to be viability? You know, could we allow 15 weeks? He referred to what's happening and how our current abortion law is similar to China and Russia, and why couldn't we find a line like 15 weeks? So it seems I'm excited because I believe once July comes and this decision comes out, we're going to find that Louisiana is going to be able to protect more unborn babies from abortion. I think the question, which we really want to see, is will Roe v. Wade be overturned completely? Will Louisiana be able to implement our laws that protects all unborn babies? So I'll have to say, I'm really excited from the decision and from what I heard, even though it's hard to guess. I'm definitely excited.
From a personal perspective, New Orleans, we have New Orleans' own Amy Coney Barrett, who's on the Supreme Court. What did you take from her interventions during the argument?
Well, I think she brought a human element when she asked about safe haven law and she asked about adoption, you know, which is connecting the fact that, you know, women have options today. If for whatever reason they feel they can't or they don't want to parent a child, they have choices. And she really kind of put that question to the abortion side and made them try to grapple with that. And they kind of tried to end around and to avoid the answer, the question, and to really see the difference. So I thought that was great. And then one point she just made a very insightful conversation, because Justice Sotomayor was asking all about all these other issues and how this is going to spill over into other issues. And she just made a very simple question. She just said, does this apply to those things? And the Mississippi attorney said no. So she helped clarify. And then she really was looking at the stare decisis question about whether we can overturn a previously decided Supreme Court precedent, which it seemed that all 6 of the justices appointed by Republicans were inclined to say that we can overturn precedent when it's wrong. The other 3 justices seemed to be wanting to defend precedent no matter what. It didn't matter what the decision might have been. They just wanted to hold on to abortion on demand at all costs. And that, to me, was the most disappointing thing about the argument. Some of the things that, and frankly, it was Justice Sotomayor, the things that she said that they were very trivial to me. They were almost like I was hearing some things when we're on college campus, kind of like the standard pro-abortion talking points or things that we heard. And that was very discouraging to hear. Questions like, well, isn't it just a religious opinion about why life begins at conception? That was very disappointing that one of the 9 Supreme Court justices of our country would say something and reduce this to such a simplistic discussion. That was disappointing to me.
Particularly you have 4D sonograms now. The medical science is so advanced, and people can see with their own eyes, what's happening. Even Justice Alito mentioned about, hey, what about the fetus also has rights? We have
That's
rights.
Right.
So,
yeah, I think that was one of the best quotes of the day, that he said the fetus has an interest in life too, or something to that. I thought that was a great point. I thought Justice Barrett talking about adoption and safe haven was one of the great quotes. And then Justice Kavanaugh talking about the abortion neutrality of the Constitution, which, right now, unfortunately, Roe v. Wade, when people take public opinion polls, has high favorability rating. And I think if the court would look to overturn Roe v. Wade completely, I hope Justice Kavanaugh's message of an abortion neutral constitution, is something that they use, because that might be something that helps the country get their mind around a decision. Because a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade is not necessarily a pro-life decision. It's a neutral decision. It returns it to the people. The people may turn around and unfortunately pass laws allowing abortion, but they may pass laws not allowing abortion. So I like that abortion neutrality, though we certainly think that the unborn child should have the rights of the 14th Amendment and be protected under the Constitution.
The line that Kavanaugh used was scrupulously neutral. So that was a very—
That's right. I like that.
Yeah. Well, to sum it up, Ben, the 15-week ban could certainly be upheld by the Supreme Court, and that would be separate from completely overturning Roe versus Wade. Correct. So that's what we're going to be looking for. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that if they make a narrow decision to just uphold the 15-week bill, then what that would do, of course, in Louisiana, our 15-week bill would go into place. I think what the Supreme Court is probably grappling with, especially those 6 justices, is they know that if they make that decision, that they're just going to be inviting more litigation to their front door, because there's heartbeat bills, there's other laws that groups have passed, Louisiana's passed, and they know they're going to be inviting more laws. And, Justice Breyer, he pressed hard on this issue. He said, is there any alternative other than completely overturning or leaving it as it is today? I mean, he kept hammering that issue home. And I think some of the 6 justices that I'm talking about, they know that the middle ground is going to be hard to find on this issue, constitutionally, legally. That's why Roe v. Wade didn't work in the beginning, is because it was trying to put a Band-Aid over a messy situation. I think the recourse the court has is to overturn Roe. But they may try to fix it with another standard, but this will just keep going on and on until we're able to protect all humans from abortion.
Well, Ben, thank you so much. I can remember many years ago when you were a Loyola student and your future wife, Chris, you were putting flags at the Loyola in the quad. And so you have been invested in this your entire life, and you've been such an advocate for the unborn. It's been incredible. So it's been a long road, huh?
Well, thanks, Peter. I mean, it has been for me, but I tell you what, there's people on our board of directors, Bob Wynn, Sharon Rhodey in the Archdiocese, Mary Jane Becker, others, going back to Archbishop Hannon and all that he did. I mean, there've been people in this Archdiocese for 50 years fighting. And to them goes the credit for laying the groundwork of this mission. Because if you look in Europe, the pro-life movement is non-existent. It's not really there, but credit the pro-life movement over years and years, even in the darkest times, of keeping the fight going, that has led us hopefully to this moment that can lead towards saving more babies.
Thank you very much, Ben. I really appreciate your time today.